your Victoria Highlanders. Now let's welcome the officials and teams. Now let's welcome the officials and teams. The officials to decide for your women's match are referee Kelsey Carter, assistant referee Sarah Hopper, and Bert Alkin, and the fourth official is Louise Reed. This afternoon's starting lineup for the TSS Rovers is number 1, Kristen Tynan. Number 3, Sophia Ferramo. Number 5, Maddie Maughan. Number 6, Lauren Abel. Number 10, Danny Levin. Number 14, Sasha Merck. Number 18, Joanna Dozell, who is the captain today. And 21, Nikki Burke. Number 23, Pak Tong Sang. Number 24, Kira Armada. And number 25, Anna Martinell. And they're led by Coach Chelsea Hansen. your starting level 11 for your Victoria Highlanders. Number 25, Midlena Ramirez. Number 2, Avery Neistat. Number 3, Lily Mano-Crockwell. Number 5, Cameron Pertz. Number 10, Sophie Miranda. Number 11, Megan Faulkner. Number 12, Alexis Van Den Boek. Number 15, Sophia Jones. Number 16, Bryn Smith. Number 17, Kira Heyman. And number 18, Taya Story. Who's your captain today? They're led by head coach Neil Sedgwick. Highlanders fans, please rise if able and remove your hats for the Canadian National Anthem.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Centennial Stadium at the University of Victoria, in the traditional territories of the Kwangban-speaking peoples. My name is Roturo. Glad to have you with us for this regular season finale in the League One BC Women's Division between the visiting TSS Rovers FC and the home side Victoria Highlanders FC. Joining me in the booth today from the mainland, from AFT in Canada, Michael McCall. Michael, welcome to the island. Thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be back commentating with you again. It's been a long, long time since we have done this together, way back in the USL PDL days, but very much looking forward to this game. So much on stake this whole afternoon for TSS Rovers. Could not pass up the chance to come over and do these games with you.
TSS, we're glad to have you here for this one. TSS sitting precariously in 4th place in the women's division, a point ahead of Harborside FC for that final playoff spot. A win and they're in, a draw, and it becomes a very nervous Sunday for TSS.
Absolutely. A point today, and then they're watching that Harborside altitude game tomorrow. If they don't get anything from today, it's going to be even more nerve-wracking for them. They do have a good goal differential over Harborside at least, so they do have that. But they don't want to even think about tomorrow. They want to get these 3 points this afternoon. It's going to be a bit of a tough one for them because they are missing some players, and there's some new faces in that TSS lineup that regulars won't have seen.
14 points difference in that goal difference between TSS and Harborside, -3 to -17. Leading the line, of course, for TSS, not actually on the pitch today, with 7 goals leading the side. As Delana Friesen, instead it'll be Nikki Vert leading the line here, 3 goals and second leading scorer. How big of a miss will that be not having Friesen on the pitch today, Michael?
It's huge, absolutely huge. I mean, she has been on fire the last couple of weeks for TSS. 7 goals, as you mentioned, but she also leads the team in assists. Her and Devon Kavanagh have a couple of assists each. So that's a big, big blow for this team. And it's been a very transient TSS side over the season. They had different players at the start of the season while they were waiting for their college girls to come. Those girls have now been and gone, so they've got some academy call-ups. There's a couple of grade 12 players on the bench for them today as well. So there's a lot on the line, and there's some big performances needed. You're looking for someone like Nikki Vert, who has also been in fine form. She's got 3 goals on the year to step up. Watch for Maddie Ma as well in the midfield. She's really kind of been the straw that stirred that midfield at times this year. She's in good form as well. She can score, she can assist. She's certainly one to watch.
That full starting 11 for TSS. Kirsten Tynan starting in goal. Back three of Sasha Merck, Joanna Verzosa-Dolezal, who has the captain's armband today, and Sofia Faremo. A mid five of Lauren Ibel, Pak Tung Sang, Maddie Ma, Demi Levan, and Hannah Martinelli. And leading the line alongside Nikki Verk is Chiara Armenta. For the Highlanders kicking off in their all-black kit on your broadcast left against TSS Rovers in their red and white kit on your broadcast right. Starting 11 for the Highlanders, Melina Ramirez once again starting in goal. Backline of Avery Neisted, Lily Manel Fretwell, and Taya Scory, who has the armband, though we imagine that will be shifting into a more traditional four along the back. We'll see how that shifts as the game progresses. Currently set as a midfield of Cameron Kurtz, Sophie Miranda, Alexis Vandenbalk, Bryn Smith, and Kira Heyman. And leading the line, Megan Faulkner and Sophia Jones. No Mariel Solzberg leading the line today for the Highlanders. No Mara McCleary along the back line, so more squad rotation for the home side as well. It'll be interesting to see how, without McCleary providing that sort of direction and leadership from the back, Highlanders managed to cope with this TSS attack. Something of a relief then, not to have TSS as leading scorer when your linchpin of your defense is no longer there, or at least not for this match at least.
Yeah, I was doing the altitude game last week with the Highlanders, and McCleary was excellent in the back line there, so I think that is a big loss. It's whether TSS can get that offence going. It's been a long, early start for them, so hopefully there's some freshness in those legs.
We'll get to that in our next break of play, Michael. We'll get to there's a story there, I know. We'll wait for a gap to get to that one. Taya Scory chasing this one down under pressure from Verk. Does manage to get there first. Verk chasing. Out for touch, off of a defender. I believe that comes back off of, Levon, I think? Regardless, out for a throw for Highlanders at the back. Fantastic traveling support as well today from the Swan Guardians. Great to see traveling support in League One. Always makes for fantastic atmosphere. And another throw on the far side, this time for Rovers.
Yeah, Swan Guardians over in numbers, very, very loud as well in the early going. Can they keep this up all afternoon?
Well, it's only 180 minutes of soccer. They should be fine, right?
They'll be well lubricated, I'm pretty sure.
Of course, the women's match is only the first half of today's League One BC doubleheader. The men's match will be coming up in later, and while there is a playoff spot on the line for TSS fighting for this one, there's even bigger implications for both sides in the men's match. The representative for League One BC in the Canadian Championship who could contest the Voyageurs Cup coming up after this match, so stick around for that. Right now, though, TSS fighting for their playoff lives, and they'll build out from the back, starting with Johanna Verzosa-Dolezal, receiving this in this back three, along with Faremo, who has it now. Being pressured by Jones. That's a nice little turn to get away. Has some space on this near side, opts to play it. Waiting for it there is Martinelli. Martinelli goes short, but only to a black kit. Bounces up off of Neisted, possible handball there, let go. Instead, it's Faulkner retreating. Ramirez under pressure, high press being shown there by Verk. No fear whatsoever, and it is a turnover. Attempted long chip, but that is exceptionally long. And that'll be a goal kick for Ramirez. Pace for days from Nikki Verk to try and force that early turnover.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how TSS really settle, because there's a couple of new faces that are making their debuts for TSS this afternoon in Debbie Levan and Hannah Martinelli.
The early press looked good so far. A little bit of a breakout now chance is Heyman going up the left-hand side. And they'll go all the way back, but under some heavy pressure, and they'll be forced to regroup. Scory goes for the inside switch from Miranda. That's blocked and sent back to Neisted. So for now, it's Neisted and Scory forming a partnership at the back. Pressure there being shown by Armenta. Faulkner on this near side has been dropped into a fullback role. We've seen Faulkner switch between wing and fullback all season. An experiment that has been paying interesting dividends. Faulkner has been, I believe, leading the team in assists this season. So as far as a provider goes, Faulkner being in that fullback role has allowed her a little more creativity. Now it's Merck for Rovers going up the far side. Ibel goes long, tries to find Armenta on the run over her head. Ramirez might claim this and does. Back over to Scory. Kurtz tries to play that forward, almost intercepted that time by Martinelli, who does come away with it inside. Armenta tries to turn, takes the shot, blocked by Scory. Falls rather kindly, actually, all the way out to Heyman. Try and start something going the other way. Jones leaves it off. Miranda plays it forward. Good read that time, though. Well read by Ferramo. Comes back. All the way over it will go to Merck. So the 3-5-2 remains in place here for Rovers, but Highlanders, as expected, have morphed back into more of a traditional 4 along the back. Faulkner, Neisted, and Scory being the primary components of it, and Kurtz serving as that outlet as a defensive midfielder. Though again, watch for that to shift. We've seen Kurtz go from 6 to 8 over the course of a game as the match dictates, often forming a double pivot to start with Miranda. We'll see if that maintains its shape.
It was interesting, I thought, with the altitude game last week. First 5-10 minutes, Highlanders were so strong, and then really just fell out of the game, and altitude just launched wave after wave of attack. But they were so good defensively, and I'm sure TSS have watched that game tape to try and see some chinks in the armour, but there wasn't a lot on display last week, and these two teams did draw 1-1 in the second week of the season as well.
Two very different teams, though, from that second week of the season.
Both the scorers from that day not starting, one of them not even in the game day 18 either. Maddie Elcom is on the bench for TSS this afternoon. That's a good option for TSS to have off the bench if they are looking to chase this down. From Chelsea Hannison's point of view, though, they don't want to go chasing the game early. They just want to play their game, stick to what they have drawn up. And the players, it was interesting, they didn't know what the starting 11 was till they got to the stadium.
Well, that ball turned over, but cleared by Scory. It'll be out for a throw. High pressure being shown there, and already you can see Smith having some difficulty trying to handle the attack on the far side. Combination of Ebel and Tung Sang doing very well. Again, this is a very early on. We're only 7 minutes in here, Michael. High press seems to be the order of the day here for Rovers.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Maddie Ma has been playing a little bit out wide, and we've more seen her play through the middle. So haven't seen her in that winger role all too often. She was down initially as a central midfielder, so they might have done a little bit of a switch there.
Chance now out wide. Kurtz has drifted, not Kurtz, excuse me, it's nice that he drifted over to cover for that. Instead it gets switched over Levan's head. Gets it back, turning in tight quarters, foot being shown there by Kurtz. That might have been pushing the back there, but no call, and instead he'll go out to midfield. Chasing that down though, no problem.
Yeah, as soon as I mentioned about Maha being out wide, she drifted back into the middle, so she seems to have quite a free role in the middle today, which is really going to suit her game.
It's not really a bad thing to have at all, yeah. Especially considering that this Highlanders midfield, really, beyond Kurtz and Miranda, we have a lot of rotation in Vandenbulk and Smith. Even Heyman is usually off the bench, so if Ma's allowed to dictate where she plays, there's going to be a lot of space for her to exploit. And we see here a lovely back check there by Armenta. Calling for it there, Levant, and there it goes, but through the middle channel as opposed to the near side one, and Ramirez will calm things down a touch.
Yeah, you might notice from looking at the pictures, there's two players, Ma and Verk on TSS, that have got bandaged arms, both just badly sprained, and they didn't want to miss this opportunity, but TSS have certainly been through the war this season as the Highlanders now get a chance to maybe get their first breakaway afternoon.
Faulkner on this near side having advanced forward, as she tends to do. Gets inside, does it stay in? No, over the end line. You can see the idea though, trying to play to the touchline for the cross. There's an early substitution being called here, as already we have someone lined up at midfield, not 9 minutes in. And that's an early end of the day for Kira Heyman. Is there an injury that we missed maybe? But that's Heyman coming out, and that'll be Jensen Napier-Ganley coming in to replace her. I didn't see anything happen to Heyman.
I didn't see anything happen to her. Maybe she just was feeling something.
Better safe than sorry, of course, though.
I'm trying to see, it looked like she may have a little bit of a bandage under her shorts, so it's maybe just tweaked something.
See, at halftime we'll have a quick chat with the personnel, see if we can figure out what actually happened with Heyman there. Assuming the coaching staff are willing to share. Ramirez clears. Faulkner waits for it, over her head though. That should be scooped up by Ferramo. She'll let that go for a throw. So with that change in personnel, it should sit as a back four, but with Smith, Neisted, Scory, and Faulkner. Mid four, Kurtz, Manel Fretwell, Miranda, and now Napier-Ganley. Though I wouldn't be surprised at all if Napier-Ganley is asked to move a little bit further forward. Listed as a forward by trade, and that is where you would expect to see her go. Right now, it's Vandenbalk taking that attacking role.
You can draw your game plans up early and have what you think is going to be what's going to work, but then now they might have to do a little bit of a switch here. Heyman's had a strong season, the games that I've seen from her.
Like I said, usually coming off the bench to provide that extra spark, and when she does, can be very effective. Headed into the box there, that's no one to follow up on that. It'll be easily scooped up, and first time Tynan's actually touched the ball all afternoon. Quick roll out, and I'm sure Kirsten Tynan won't complain too much if she has a quiet day at the office.
Yeah, she hasn't had a lot of starts this season, Tynan. There's been 4, possibly even 5 goalkeepers in for TSS over the course of the year as players have come and gone. Some have been in better form than others as well, but speaking to Kirsten on the way over, she's really looking forward to this one and shared a little bit of, we were talking about the penalty shootout with the Whitecaps last night. She was at the game, so she was talking just about how you get ready as a goalkeeper for situations like that. She has her secrets that she would not share.
Oh, does she? Keepers are always so secretive like
yes.
that. Tunsang with the play back to the back line. Played forward now by Verk. Trying to scoop it up there on the far side was Abel, but knocked off the ball. It does go off of Abel, though, and it'll be a throw for Highlanders. Smith with the throw. Showing some pressure there that time was Verzosa Dolezal. And they'll try for the long ball, though that should be a race won by Nisa Ramirez. Will actually beat both of them to it, though not giving up at all. Nice pressure shown by Chiara Armenta. Armenta, I would imagine, trying to make the most out of this cameo appearance late in the season.
Yeah, she's been used sparingly, which has actually surprised me a little bit just because she has been very impactful off the bench. 2 goals on the year for her, including a huge winner against the Whitecaps in what was one of the League One BC featured games this season. She's impressed me from what I've seen from her, but she hasn't started, so it's going to be a different mindset for her coming into this, but they need a big game from her this afternoon.
Chance now as we get the throw in low. The idea that was trying to get that to Verk, never quite made it. Kurt's trying to sweep things forward. A ball to Smith. Looks long. Easily met there by Merck. And now loose in midfield, Rovers picking it up. Now Armenta trying to make the turn. Knocked off her boots by Smith again. Miranda trying to move things through midfield. Plays it low. It's an actually nice little ball for Jones. Back to Faulkner. There's some space on this near side. Closing that down to try and make it a little more difficult was Martinelli. Knocked off the feet of Levon. Ford actually does find Jones. Jones does find a small little pocket up against Faremo. On the deck, but mistiming the run there was Vandenbalk. And that should be no problem for Verzosa Dolezal. Up this near side for Martinelli. Watched by Faulkner. Good control. Forward to Verk. Back to goal. Trying to get her footing there in a tight duel. That is going to be won and clipped out for a throw. Stern defending there from Nysted.
Verk is so hard to get off the ball. We've seen quite a few mazy runs for her over the course of the season, and when she starts running at defenders, it's very difficult to knock her off that. TSS haven't really been able to get the ball too much to her in the early going here.
Jostling of legs there, just about 20 yards from goal, and instead of Rovers coming away with it. Clipped all the way back that time by Tunsang.
Sophia Faremo playing the ball back there. Another player that's been in the wars against Notsamat recently. She had a tooth chipped.
Ooh.
And the good thing about it though is one of the other TSS players, Megan Sue, who's on the bench today, her parents are dentists, so they did an emergency surgery on her tooth that night, and she was good enough to go out in the town afterwards as well. So.
Oh, the beauty of having dentistry in the family.
Yes.
Jones now under pressure from Martinelli. Good track back, forces Jones to retreat. Faulkner goes centrally. Scory under pressure here. This is going to be dicey, and indeed, Tunsang chance to win it through. Does get past Kurtz. Circling. All the way to the back line. Wise play there. There wasn't a clear line through midfield. Instead it'll be Faremo. Trying to get past Jones. Goes down for pace and does have space. Ooh, that rhymed. Going out wide. Once again, Moff floating nearby in that area. Now a chance to move forward with it. Maddie Mott goes back. Merck goes into midfield. Pass to Sang. Martinelli's there, but getting there first was Faulkner. That'll be up for a throw. No nonsense defending there from Faulkner.
Certainly feels through these first 15 minutes that TSS are just going to have to try and find a way to unlock this very tight Highlanders defence, and Highlanders look like they just want to be happy to hit on the break here.
It all starts with trying to have Kurtz shield that back line. Kurtz, again, sitting in that 6th role that we've seen for most of the season. If things turn south for the home side, wouldn't be surprised to see Kurtz encouraged to move forward into that 8 role, as you saw during Altitude, where she got the opening goal of the contest, and it being the winning goal of the contest. 1-0 away to Altitude.
I have to wonder as well, for teams like this, from the Highlanders' perspective, they're facing players that they weren't have prepared for. I know I've seen probably names on the team sheet and went, who are they? Which was my exact reaction when I got the team lineup as well. And seeing some of the girls in the ferry, I was like, I don't know who this is.
Well, TSS has been doing, as you said, the rotation has been very heavy this season. Availability has been somewhat spotty, but regardless, they've still done enough to put themselves in a playoff spot. It's a testament to, even though it's highly rotated, a good deep team this season.
It's even like Nikki Verk that's on the ball there. She started the season as a starter, and then as more of the players came in, she was having a bench role. So her and Armenta have come off the bench together, so they've got that little bit of chemistry. Armenta as well is one of the older heads that's on this TSS side as well. She's finished her college career. She had 4 years down at Georgia Gwinnett College, and actually Martinelli also played down there, so you wonder if it's maybe been a little call from Armenta to try and get some help for this depleted roster squad.
Kurtz now out wide. Jones, face down by Chung Sang. Nice to go central. Miranda over to Scory. There are options on the far side. As Manel Fretwell and Smith. Instead, they'll go central. Levan tries along the deck. The idea was okay, but there was no one there to run onto it. And instead, it's nice to head over to Manel Fretwell. Just nice little move from Lily Manel Fretwell, playing the 1-2 with Bryn Smith. And now Kurtz has a tiny bit of space to work with. Opts to flare it out wide. Somewhere between Miranda and Faulkner, and the willing recipient there is Martinelli. Says thank you very much. Thoremo back to Martinelli. Has options here. Draws in Jones, then goes back. Thoremo central now. Ma now sitting in front of the back line. Merck.
All feels just a little bit scrappy right now, though, in the middle of the park. No one's really been able to put their foot and control this game.
Nice little flick, though. That was a clever little flick being shown by Armenta. It would be the first corner of the game as Armenta causes a little bit of chaos in the Highlanders' back line. Behind it goes, and on to set piece duties we go. Ma stepping forward for this one. Jogging, I suppose, forward more than stepping. Over comes Levan as well. Who's going to actually, it's going to be Levan actually will be sizing this one up.
And there's not a lot of height in that Rovers side, but Verzosa Jolazal's one to watch, and she's wide open at the minute. She's just been picked up there as I said that.
They'll float this one right to the penalty spot. Ramirez claims. Only the one real challenge to the height there. Ramirez surrounded by friendly defenders.
I thought Ramirez was excellent last week against Altitude. She certainly earned her side the 3 points as Altitude threw everything at the Highlanders, especially in the closing moments of that game. A game that sadly ended Altitude's playoff hopes.
And Ramirez has grown into her form this season. A little bit shaky off the start, but the more minutes she got, the more she showed what she was capable of, the more confidence she got. The better you could see Emilia Ramirez. If she's back for Highlanders next year, there will be 0 complaints from the island, except maybe for Harborside. They're not here, so we won't talk about them.
She's one of those players, like there's so many of them, we saw it last year as well, that you want to see then how they go back and they do when they go back to their schools. And she plays for Acadia Axwomen out in Nova Scotia, so it's a very long coast-to-coast journey for her.
Brought down by Armenta. Plays it forward, shouldered by Nystead. Can they keep this in? No, that'll be a throw for Rovers.
Recruitment as well is going to be interesting going forward on the island now that there's the 2 island teams as well.
If I may briefly put my supporter's scarf back on, obviously, why would they go to Harborside when they could come to Highlanders? And that will be my only outwardly and blatantly supporter-fueled comment for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, I mean, as a neutral, I would say they are higher in the standings.
Heck, see,
That could be
the facts don't lie.
Factor.
The facts don't lie at all. Martinelli on this near side. Rovers, nice little back hook by Martinelli, puts in the cross, but that's to the wrong side of the near post. That'll be a goal kick for Ramirez. Martinelli has shown some nice little tricks on this near side.
Yeah, she's certainly got on the ball a lot more.
And more importantly, she's pushed Faulkner back down into more of a pure fullback role. Faulkner hasn't been able to advance nearly as much as she did at the start of this contest, so Martinelli has already forced some respect from the Highlanders' back line. Raymond will let this one go. New Rovers throw and just past the Liquor Plus banner. Martinelli will actually step forward for this one. Tunsang showing short. Instead, they'll go even shorter over to Ma, or not Ma, make that Levon. Levon back to Ma. Verzosa Dolazal. Merck gonna have to run onto this one a little bit. Actually, it might be just oh, she does keep it in. Nice slide at the last second to keep it in. It does keep possession briefly. That'll fall to Scory. Ramirez. Goes over the pressure, but misses the target. And Martinelli will head that straight forward. Trying to find a way out of here is Smith. Does find Jones. That was Faulkner, excuse me, dancing their way out of trouble. Now Smith sending it forward, looking for a little bit of help from Vandenbalk. Smith gets the deflection, and now comes to Vandenbalk. Vandenbalk's actually gone further ahead. And from distance, teasing shot there from Napier Ganley. As the substitute takes the first shot towards goal by the Highlanders this contest, so waiting for our first on-target shot of the afternoon from either side. Torremo playing forward to Martinelli. Nystead. Kurtz looking forward, looking for Vandenbalk to come onto that, but misread, and now Tunsang. Back to Verzosa Dolazal.
Neither goalkeeper so far has had very much to do at all, and it's just a case of staying alert at this point.
The one claim off the corner by Ramirez is perhaps the most difficult action she said, and I'm being generous there with difficult. Still had to be confident in the claim. As you correctly pointed out, Verzosa Dolazal was not marked until right near the end of that setup.
She's definitely the big danger woman for TSS, and we're seeing a lot of what we've seen from TSS in games this year, and they get the possession, they move the ball around well, but it's the final third sometimes that's let them down. Delana Friesen was finding that spark that they were needing, and that's what helped this push to get them back into the playoff places. But with her missing this game now, it's someone else has to step up, and Nikki Verk is a player that needs to get the ball at her feet, and they've really struggled to do that so far in the first half, off this first half.
Scory goes long off of that throw. Back to goal here. And now Kurt's trying to play forward, intercepted, Tunsang. There's the return. Nice slide forward. Blocked by Scory. Burke's second effort here. Has the ball at her feet like you were hoping for, Michael. There's the cross, but that's right to Ramirez. 3 targets to aim for there. Unfortunately, the one they hit was wearing green and not red and white.
More like it though, they need to get the numbers up as well. It seemed the pace is very pedestrian. I mean, it is warm down there, not as warm as it has been, not as warm as it's been over on the mainland, but there's a little bit of a breeze that's going to help the players as well. But I do feel that it's a little cagey. They don't want to throw everything at it yet because TSS don't want to go behind and have that big road back.
Yeah, the bigger stakes for this match on the shoulders of TSS, as that 4th place for the final playoff spot is not locked in. For the Highlanders, it's purely for pride. After a less than stellar start to the season, effectively left them with the slimmest of mathematical possibilities to make the playoffs. They are now purely trying to set themselves up for next season to at least end the season on a good note.
Well, unbeaten in the last 2 games as well with 2 clean sheets, so that shows that things are starting to click. Horrible for them at the wrong time, as you said, but I mean, we've seen on the men's side that it's very good defensively, and they haven't really been blown out of matches. When you look at the scores, there's just been that one horrendous game against Unity that they gave up 6, but aside from that, maybe the not-so-much game as well, they've been very much in the games. 3 clean sheets as well for the Highlanders this year.
And second quarter of the afternoon now for TSS after more pressure on that far side corner. So Manel Fratwell under some pressure here once again, and it'll be heading over, it'll be Demi Levant. Set this corner up. Here's the corner, aiming for the penalty area, headed in, but that'll fall to Ramirez. Glancing header there by Versosa Dolezal. I just wonder if she got tied up with her own attacker there. Regardless, rolled out.
For those watching that's just eager for a goal to come, TSS have only kept 1 clean sheet all season, so they do have a propensity for letting some goals in. Not that I'm wanting to jinx anything at this stage.
No.
I'm sure if Chelsea watches this back, she'll be like, why did you have to mention that?
The curse of the commentator isn't real. Never happens. Never happens.
The other curse I'm just going to put on the team just now is they don't look under a lot of pressure though to concede right now.
Oh, I just love the not curses you're throwing out here, Michael. Please continue.
Yes, you can throw them back at me in a few minutes' time, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Short free kick here taken. Chance for TSS to move up from the back. Merck. Levant. Tried the 1-2, but first touch let her down there. And it'll be Scory now moving out. Far side for Napier Ganley. Turns back, tries the cut, looking for Smith. Just past her reach, and Tung Sang. Finds Versosa Dolezal. Faremo. They'll switch in personnel. In this near side, it'll be Lauren Abel. Looking long. So a bit of a wing swap here for TSS. Try and look for that way through.
The other issue that TSS have just now is from the game day 18, the players on the pitch just now that are up front in Verk and Armenta are their best chances for getting the goal. Maddie Elcombe can score, but she is really their only attacking threat on the bench. A couple of grade 12 call-ups from the academy that's on the bench for TSS today as well, and you never know what they're going to bring, but it does feel that these front two need to be the players that's going to get the breakthrough for TSS, because if they're chasing the game late on in this one, I don't see many game changers that's going to be able to come on for them.
From the near side, Ma crosses, nobody there. But that's a cheap giveaway there. Kurtz does well to save it. Miranda has some space. Foot race though. In hot pursuit is Ma. And Miranda puts it in behind everybody, and Napier Ganley will try and beat Merck to this. Merck go, gets in, that'll be a foul. Surely, no, all ball, says the referee. Lets it go, and Scory with the shoulder barge. Comes back, I thought for sure she clipped ankle there, but this is why I'm in the broadcast booth and not refereeing. Ramirez, under pressure.
Under pressure there.
Gets rid of it, Nystead. And we'll calm down to Faulkner as they'll play up this near side, the Highlanders defenders. Jones turning. Nystead. Sliding in there. Good breakup done there by by Armenta. Ma. Still with it, out wide. This should be a throw that goes out, and does keep it in. Martinelli turns. Verk does get past Score. The ball does anyway. Can Verk get there first? No, Score will turn. Pokes it out, throw in for Rovers. It's only bits and pieces that Verk has been allowed to try and create on the ball, which I'm sure is by design, though it has to be frustrating for Verk.
Well, this is Verk's home pitch as well as a UVic bike, so she's going to know the run of it and maybe any areas that she can use her pace to get to. Her second season in the league as well, she played with Unity last year, and she's been a really good addition for TSS. The recruitment from Chelsea Hannison has been excellent, and she was one of the players that we'll get to the full tale later, but nearly did not get the ferry over this morning, and she was the one that everyone was like, we need to get Nikki Burke on the ferry.
So far, team looks glad to have her, and they'll try and play this one on the deck, looking for the run. But Faulkner should be able to watch us go over the end line, and does. And Levon, excuse me, Demi Levon, not Letty Devon. She's not here today. Unfortunate illness. Kurtz. Back to Nystead. Calling for Jones, but getting there first was Paremo. Cuts back inside. Nice little ball from Ma. And now there's a little bit of space for this 5-wide midfield to do some work. On the near side now, Ebel. Having swapped with Martinelli, now has a nice little cut inside. Good look here. Looking for, unfortunately, Levon was covered. Pops up. Twisting, turning, there was abandoned ball. And that will be a foul. So quick rundown of the subs available. As Michael was mentioning, with TSS, Nadia Anderson is the goalkeeper substitute. Outfield players Katie Chan, Jessica Fennell, Megan Sue, Haley Issel, Maddie Elcombe, and Isabella Picani. For Highlanders, no listed goalkeeper. They're all outfield players. Sarah Lepine, Julia Manel-Fretwell, Lily Ray, Haley MacArthur, Hannah Emmond, and Emma Sparrow. One of those subs, Jensen Napier-Ganley, has already entered the game for Kira Heyman back in the 9th minute. Throw in here for Highlanders deep. Napier-Ganley with the throw. Headed away. Burke once again trying to get onto this. It'll be muscled back by Scory. Kurtz taking over. Watched closely by Tung Sang. So it'll be Nystead having to deal with this. Right off of the body of the TSS midfield. Armento will happily shield this from Sophie Miranda. Ebel couldn't get there first. Jones did well. Faulkner still with it, but that's well won back. On this near side, foot race here. Nice little hop by Lauren Ebel. And now is this the moment TSS has been waiting for? Verk now at pace up against Scory. Scory defends it. That'll be out for a corner. Third corner of the afternoon, and they've all been from TSS. This one the first from this near side.
It's interesting, Ebel and Martinelli have switched sides now as well, so I don't know if that's something that Chelsea's seen that one of them can exploit on Highlanders' backline. Martinelli was certainly getting a lot of success up this left wing.
They go with the short corner. Crossed in. Headed up by Scory. Not cleared. Miranda helps it outside the area. TSS recovers. Can they get a second phase here? Tung Sang out wide. There's the cross from Martinelli. Tapped in, but that'll only get as far as Ramirez. Nystead did enough to get a leg on it.
More promising though from TSS. It was really nice to see that move, and Armenta getting in just inches away from fully connecting on that. Armenta done a really good defensive play way back there, but TSS can't afford to have her playing so deep. She's one of the few real attacking threats on this side, and they need to get her leading that line with Verk.
Verk tries her luck from distance, and then we have a shot on target. Mark it down. About 25 yards out though, and Ramirez will happily stare at those all day long.
Played in there by Maddie Ma, and for me right now, for TSS to try and take hold of this game, they need to get Ma more involved. She's been moving around the pitch a lot, she's had the ball, and she's so dangerous going forward, and she's one of those players that can really thread the balls through, that they have to try and get her on the ball more.
They've been deploying her more as a shield for the backline, which seems like a bit of a misuse of talent. Though, given what's available on the bench, maybe that's by design.
Yeah, I mean, she's really good as a box-to-box player. She can power forward. She's been plagued with injuries the last couple of seasons. That's kind of derailed her college career. So this is kind of her just finding herself back. She's been playing locally, club football, and now coming in with TSS. And at the start of the season, she was the first to admit her fitness wasn't maybe at the levels that it needed to be. But as the season's gone on, she's become one of TSS's best players.
34 minutes in, about 10 minutes plus change to go in this first half. Highlanders 0, Rovers 0. Final regular season match of the League One BC Women's Division. Both sides. Playoff implications here for Rovers as they'll have to defend this. As forward goes abandoned ball, goes to ground. That'll be a free kick in a promising area. Deepest free kick Highlanders have had all game, possibly only the second free kick Highlanders have had all game.
Certainly in the best opportunity for the Highlanders here.
Look, still down. The first challenge, oh, she's tapping, maybe she got a bit of a bruise lower down. It didn't look like there was much in it in the first.
No.
But then when she went down and didn't get up, what happened there? So something in the rib cage kidney area she was mentioning. Appears to be all right though. And Sophie Miranda will stand over this as the wall is paced off. Officials today, it's Kelsey Carruthers in the center. Assistants are Sarah Hoffer and Mert Alkin, excuse me. And the fourth official is Louise Reed. Miranda sets this up, has 4 targets along the penalty area. Scory coming in now from the edge of the area. Faulkner is in behind. Napier Ganley waiting outside the arc. Crossed in. Falls kindly. No one there to pick it up, and it's cleared by Rovers. Second phase option here from Faulkner. Puts the left footer in low. Playing back to goal there was Vandenbalk, not able to control. Napier Ganley not able to get that one either. Well intercepted by Ma. Ma once again showing all that talent in midfield, goes forward. Turning now. Can Armenta get this one forward? Loses out. Miranda actually has a good look at goal here. Banks it off of Vandenbalk. Jones not able to get that one through. And muscled back to midfield. Napier Ganley! Second effort Napier Ganley has had from that distance. Both of them sailing harmlessly over the crossbar. Very jittery moments after that free kick. No team really able to settle that one down for any stretch of time.
Yeah, disappointing thing for me from that free kick though. Like Victoria they didn't seem to be really attacking it. And they didn't really commit a lot of numbers forward as well, but then the ball did come out and gave them those options on the edge of the box.
Highlanders will reset now, going all the way back to Ramirez. Once again, Armenta. Nystead has a look. Actually, a lot of space being afforded Nystead here as Rovers collapse into midfield, inviting the pressure. Kurtz goes long. Intercepted and cleared by Merck. No nonsense there. Scory steps forward. Manel Fretwell. Miranda. Watch double team there. Well won there. Coming together, moves Abel and Ma both came together to help that one out. Miranda does well to keep possession in the end. Scory right back up the middle. Jones calling for it there as Vandenbalk comes to her, but very well cleared there by Verzosa Dolezal. No nonsense from the heart of the defense.
Best spell of pressure this though for the Highlanders that we've seen. That was a great chance, that little give and go there.
Scory pops up. Vandenbalk playing with Jones here. They try to find a way through, but again, zero nonsense from Maddie Ma. Or Lauren Abel, excuse me, who moved forward for that one. Armenta. Had Levon with her, opts to go back. Tung Sang.
No one making the run for TSS up the wing that they were looking for.
Abel. Cutting inside now, inverting quite heavily. Opts for a nice curling switch here. Got a nice curl at the end of it. Martinelli. Watched by Manel Fretwell. Turning away. Good patience shown by Martinelli. Merck will have a chance to try and start this again. Goes long. Flicked forward by Levant, but that's going to be flicked right at Ramirez.
Yeah, I think she was trying to play that forward for Armenta to chase, but just could not direct that into her path.
Faulkner. Opts to go long instead. So now we're starting to see a little bit more of the direct play to bypass that logjam in midfield. Kurtz will dutifully thump that one right back into touch. Oh, almost had enough spin on that to keep it in. Almost, however, the Lions people tend to not look kindly on almost. They tend to deal in absolutes.
I mean, the Rovers started so well using the wings, and it's just become so narrow, and as you say, it's all bogged down in the middle of the park right now, and there's just no room for TSS to get anything going there.
Ma with the header. Levon trying to control. Battling there with Napier Ganley. And Napier Ganley does commit the foul there. Was a bit too aggressive on the shoulder.
Curious to see what Chelsea Hanneson's going to do with her side at half-time. I feel an option could be to try and get Verk back out wide. We've seen her play on the wing a number of times this year, and she's had a lot of success out there.
Bell calling for this ball on the free kick, and the ball heads her way. A little too much mustard on that one, though. And it'll be out for a goal kick. Not sure if you get bonus points for hitting the flag directly, but either way.
That could be the tiebreaker, who knows? We could introduce that.
Add that one to the League One BC charter. If you're equal on goal difference, goals scored, goals against, and home record, the next tiebreaker is corner flags hit during regulation. being banned and nothing else.
Highlanders playing with fire there when you've got a couple of fast forwards chasing you down.
It's been a hallmark of the Highlanders' play, especially at home. They have not shied away from trying to commit heavily to playing out of the back. Sometimes it works.
Well, it's funny you would say that, because with so many Timberwolf connections here, that is something. When I've been doing the UBC games, I have criticised UNBC for. Against UBC a couple of times, they were just like playing with fire and got caught out by the Thunderbirds' pacey attackers. So has carried forward into this Highlanders team.
Well, you could see there they did escape the worst of the damage. They weren't able to hold possession with it. This time, though, up the near side, Faulkner. Heavy press coming in that time from Ma, but gets away from it. Miranda. Jones on the near side, tried to slip it in. That was a poor touch from Miranda, though. Faulkner thinks about the throw, opts to go up the line. Knocked down. Jones still with it. Miranda has a little pocket to work in, gets past Lamont. Kurtz skips past Burke. Manel Fretwell has to race forward for this one and does. Chance out wide for Bryn Smith. Smith gets a deflection, so it'll stay nicely for Manel Fretwell on the overlap, who does well to stay away. Sliding in was Martinelli. And there's the cross from Napier Ganley, but that should be claimed. Oh, it's only punched away by Tynan.
Well done by Tynan in the end, and a fortunate slip there for TSS, allowing the bell to get going.
Kurtz charging back, breaks it up, tripped over herself though, and nearly won back by Levant. Jones and Napier Ganley. Kurtz slow to get up after that. TSS back through midfield. You can see the look for help there as the Rovers trying to figure out what to do with this ball forward. Abel. Burke trying to make the turn.
Martinelli, acres of room over on the right as well, if somebody can look up and play her in.
I think Burke might have saw it the last second there, but not enough on that switch. Ma recycles in midfield. That wide for Merck. Fends off the challenge, stays with it, but Miranda still with it. Referee isn't interested in any foul. Instead, chance for Highlanders to break out. Jones actually has a touch of room, opts to go on the deck. Run being shown there by Vanden Bulk. Not enough. Faremo back to Verzoso Dolezal. Long ball. Armenta. That's not going to be in range for Armenta. Manel Fretwell. Kurtz tries the return. Waiting for it was Smith. Long throw.
We've been enjoying this one, Guardians. I hope it's so loud I can hardly hear the Churro right beside me at times.
I'm not going to lie, I do love away days. And more supporters you can cram into a pitch, the better.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was at BC Place last night, and with the Leon fans that were there, it was just absolutely amazing atmosphere. That's what this game needs, and that's why League One's so good. It allows the travelling fans.
Mm-hmm. Ramirez, final 3 minutes of the first half. No score either side.
Asking a lot there of Demi Levan.
You know, once again, as you say, that slow play out of the back, it looks so dangerous, and they get away with it more often than not at League One. Kurtz to Scory. Won't hit Napier Ganley though. Instead, Merck will calm things down and then go right to her far side defensive partner in Faremo.
From a Rovers perspective, you're seeing the Highlanders play like that out the back, and it's so frustrating that you know that there's players that TSS have that if they were playing today would really punish the Highlanders for that.
Nice move by Kurtz. That's part of the reason why, is they occasionally get those nice breakouts. And here's Vanden Bulk now with a step on the defense for the first time this match, but couldn't get past Faremo. Well recovered from the Rovers back line after Kurtz did very well to get past Abel in midfield and set that run up. Tung Sang will go all the way back this time. Tynan urges the charges forward. Merck. Abel is intercepted by Miranda. Tung Sang standing tall in midfield comes away with it. Ma out wide. Martinelli sees a bit of space here against Manel Fretwell, cuts inside instead, finds Verk. Verk with a touch past Scory. Still Scory with her. First time cross, looking for Armenta, doesn't fall cleanly. Abel is there as well, but Faulkner has this under control. Final minute of this first half, Highlanders 0, Rovers 0. And Rovers will get a chance to build up again here to Sang.
Certainly been cagey more than a classic so far, as the game just really bogged down in the middle of the park. TSS have to try and get their wing play more effective in the second half to try and just open this game up a little bit.
With a 3-5-2 setup, you should in theory have that advantage in midfield.
Yeah.
There should be enough numbers to create that black hole where you can control possession, but Highlanders have been more than happy to go counterpunch and just make the midfield a no-go zone.
Whatever it was that Chelsea saw that switched the two players on the wings, Martinelli and Abel, it hasn't worked. Martinelli was being way more effective on this left side.
And no stoppage time for this first half. That's going to do it after 45 minutes. Visiting Rovers 0, home side Highlanders 0. You're watching League One BC Women's Division Soccer. It's the final day of the season, a day that started on the most interesting of notes, Michael. The TSS journey to the island was not an easy one.
It was not. 9 o'clock ferry, but people may know that the coastal celebration ferries have been cancelled over the weekend, so because of that, every other ferry is full. So many people are walking on, there's no car parking. As myself and players found out as we got to the terminal. So a lot of us are now parked at some water park with a park and ride shuttle that when we got there was closed. And then the guy arrived and we had to fill out paperwork for the parking. And we were never going to get the 9 o'clock ferry. So basically, in short, one of the coaching staff said, I'm going to shuttle you to the ferry terminal. So we all crammed into his pickup truck, with me in the back seat, or not back seat, in the back of the pickup truck, holding on like the Beverly Hillbillies, as he seemed to hit every single bump in the road imaginable. We got to the ferry with 2 minutes to spare. They'd said at the door, if you see players in red tracksuits, let them in. So we ran in. I've seen Nikki Burke run with a full ice latte, so I'm sure she can do it with a soccer ball on the pitch this afternoon. But that was part of the journey, and then we get over to the other side, and there's no bus waiting for us. And it was a half-hour wait for the bus to come. There had been a mistake, a miscommunication. So we got here with less than an hour to go. So the players, it's been an interesting journey for them. That's the shortened version of it. It was just a comedy of errors. Hopefully that's all the bad luck out of the way though.
If anything, hopefully you channel all the negativity out of the day into one ferry trip. There's still 45 minutes of soccer left to go. You're watching League One BC Soccer with Roturo and Michael McCall. We'll be back for the second half after this.
Also check out that Highlanders merchandise. Craft beers provided by Phillips Brewing and Malting Company. Delicious beer responsibly brewed by irresponsible brewers. The Victoria Highlanders FC
Welcome back to Centennial Stadium at the University of Victoria in the traditional territories of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples. My name is Arturo, joined by Michael McCall for the second half of this League 1 BC Women's Division regular season finale between the visiting TSS Rovers in their red kit, white shoulders, and the home side Victoria Highlanders FC in their black kit. Starting on your broadcast right for the second half. Double substitution to start the second half. Looks like Megan Sue has come into this match to replace Lauren Abel on the wing. Interesting to see that necessitates a full personnel shift as we start in midfield with a little poke forward by Napier Ganley. Met closely though and moved forward. Burke now, who's being talked to at halftime, has a lovely little ball along the deck right to start the half, but not enough pace from Chiara Armenta to get there in time. That was the brightest attack that we've seen all afternoon, Michael.
Oh, by far. And Nikki Burke, we were just talking at the break. Nikki Burke, they need to get her more involved and more out to the wing. Would not be surprised to see Mary Elcom come in and like lead the line with Armenta to allow Burke to come out to the wing. She is very dangerous out there and she definitely has pace. Megan Sue, TSS Rovers alumni from their academy. A couple of years that she's got under her belt with McMaster Marauders. Has seen limited game time though with McMaster, only one appearance in 2022. Has had a little bit of injuries. So she's been used sparingly with them and has come off the bench a couple of times down the stretch here for TSS. But they need to try and get something going, and the key for TSS just now is to get it out the middle. They've got to use the wings, they've got to spread this field over. Right now it's smacking of being a 0-0 draw from what we saw in the first 45 minutes, but let's hope I'm wrong.
Cameron Kurtz trying to prove you wrong here for Highlanders. Wins herself a free kick in a decent spot. For Highlanders, a lot of complaints there from Rovers about the validity of that one. Honestly, I can't say I blame them. That was a bit of a soft one for me anyway.
It's a 50-50 for me as well, but I need a leg to be hanging off sometimes for me to call a free kick. So
yeah, so the scaling might be slightly different in League 1 BC. Be that as it may, for Highlanders, for this second half, they need to continue to try and find a way to get that midfield pressure and then do something with it. We saw too long where they'd win possession, get something started, and then the last ball simply never materialized or didn't exist or was poorly hit. So finding a way to actually connect their midfield to the attack is going to be massively important to avoid a 0-0 draw, though I do agree with you, Michael, that unless something spectacular happens here and Miranda's free kick goes over the bar, we are looking probably down the barrel of a 0-0 draw to see this game out.
The only thing that's really going to maybe shake that up is that the longer this half goes on, it's such a huge half for TSS. They've got that weight of knowing if they win, they're in the playoffs. A draw, they're looking over their shoulder, they're looking for altitude to do them a favour tomorrow in Nanaimo, which I could see them doing, but you don't want to rely on that. Altitude definitely want to finish their season with a bang, and it's a very talented Altitude side that really could and should be pushing for that playoff place. That defeat to the Highlanders last week cost them so badly. TSS, the last 15 minutes, if we're still tied at 0-0, they're going to just have to throw caution to the wind to an extent. But they again can't leave themselves short because they know a defeat is very likely going to end their chances.
So to summarize the first half double substitution, it was Megan Sue and Hayley Issel coming into the game, replacing Lauren Ibel and Pak Tung Sang. No further substitutions for Highlanders other than the one they made at the 9th minute, which we saw Kira Heyman come out, replaced by Jensen Napier Ganley, who plays the ball back to midfield now to Kurtz.
Hayley Issel is another one of the young players that's come through the TSS Academy, a 2023 high school grad. She's just finished grade 12. She's one of the 2 grade 12 students that is on the bench today for the Rovers.
Chance to get some great experience here, and a key match for Rovers in their playoff hopes as Miranda pushes out wide to Faulkner. Watched closely by Sue, who's now making their presence known. There's the return ball to Faulkner. Nowhere to go, though, as Fremo's right there and does manage to very briefly grab it, but Fremo does well to win that and get the throw in. Sophia Fremo, part of that 3 along the back line, still looks to be a 3-5-2. There isn't any major positional swaps that I'm seeing here for TSS.
No, I don't think they need to switch from that because they're not under that much pressure from the Highlanders right now.
Scored with the header there, past Nystead. Back comes Faulkner to win that. Nystead will look forward, and that one will go out of play.
When we'd seen that the subs were coming up, I wondered about whether Martinelli might have been one of the ones to go off, because as we mentioned, this is her first game of the season for TSS, and she hasn't been playing in the league. She hasn't been playing regular full-blooded football, really, which is what this league is. So how long can she go as well is going to be another question on Chelsea Hannison's mind. Same true with Demi Levan, the number 10. Levan does play her college soccer with McGill, has had a couple of years there and has played in the Fraser Valley Premier as well.
Shank clearance there from Merck, but well won back. Now there is Martinelli waiting for it. Imagine Merck will send it there. Goes on the deck instead. Return from Verk. Is this where they start? Oh, nice little nutmeg there from Martinelli trying to get through Smith, and does. Puts it on the deck. Met. Devon turns.
Lovely turn there from Levan to keep that alive. I thought that had got away from her, but TSS forced back by the press of the Highlanders here. They're going to try and switch it now to the other side.
Once again, Levan trying to look up the middle, but nothing doing there. Comes back out to touch. Rovers are coming out in this first half, all guns blazing. Chance for Vandenbolt to get through here on a misplay on the back pass. Vandenbolt can't get it past Tynan. Following up is Smith. Good, well, one back ball though. Ma once again making themselves known in midfield. Scoring with the header. Well, that's the clearest chance either side has had all afternoon.
You have to say Vandenbolt should have done way better with that as well. Clear in on goal there, but full credit with the save coming up from Kirsten Tynan. She's had a bit of an up and down season, but we know what a talented goalkeeper she was. Just before League One, she was over with a training stint in England with Everton. So a very, very talented keeper with a bright future ahead of her. Plays her college soccer with Queen Gales as well. Bit of a penalty shootout expert as well, if any penalties come in this game.
I'm sure we have regular season penalty shootouts, so penalties are definitely possible. Captain for the Rovers, Joanna Verzosa Dolazal, with the long ball forward. Clipped. Balls from Martinelli. Jostling for control there against Manel Fretwell. Manel Fretwell does get back with help from Scory. That'll be a corner on this near side. 7 minutes into the second half, another corner. Highlanders has not had a single corner all game. That's the fourth for Rovers. Tells you where the offensive pressure has been most often between these two sides.
The Rovers sending bodies into the box now. Again, you've always got to watch for Verzosa de La Salle at these set pieces. And again, she's been given a little bit of room in the box.
On aims from the near post. Oh, there was the target they found for it at the near post. Caught a deflection. They'll get another crack at it.
Sophia Ferrimo just couldn't fully turn her head to direct that on goal. An important Highlanders body in the way, but wind maybe favouring TSS for these set pieces as well.
Over the penalty spot, falls over two sets ahead. Nicker Ganley loses the battle there with Ma, then comes another deflection and out. Verk retreating all the way back to the near fullback position. Chance to try and get some pace here. Opposite keep possession. Now goes for a run up against. That's Sophia Jones was up against, but did go over the sideline. That'll be a throw for Highlanders, right in front of the assistant.
If you have lost a Visa debit card, please come to the concession to describe it.
Long throw being shown there by Manel Fretwell. Should point out that is Lily Manel Fretwell currently on the field. Julia Manel Fretwell's on the bench. There's a shove that'll be called for a foul as Vandenbalk clashes with Sasha Merck. Verzosa Dolazal to Faremo. They'll go out wide again. Sue turns back. Levon back to Verzosa Dolazal. Over to Merck. Playing that horseshoe passing formation. Ma. Goes for pace pass. Does get past Smith. On the deck for Martinelli. Is this going to stay in? Oh, it'd be a Herculean effort to get there. Not quite enough, though.
Takes a little bit of a favourable bounce, though, for TSS. It's going to keep the Highlanders penned really deep in their half here.
So it's 2 corner flags. We're using the brand new tiebreaker system. Ma, well intercepted. Stepping in though. Miranda now to Vandenbalk. tracked down. But one back, well done by, that was Issel, one of the new subs coming in, showing bravery there to tackle that. If she gets that wrong, that might be a foul or worse. Meanwhile, Verk sprinting over to this near side, up against Scory, puts the cross in, met by Nystead. Verk again. Fancies her chances going inside, foul at the edge of the area. No, not foul, says the referee. It's a goal kick.
Wow.
There's a rather sizable, Verk is not going to get a talking to from the referee over this one.
I think the referee's getting a talking to from Verk by the looks of it. I mean, it did look like there was a definite foul there. For me, it was like, was it in, out the box? I think it was out.
Out of the box. If there was a foul, it was out of the box for sure.
But
I'm guessing the argument was that there was more dive than fall, but even then there were two defenders closed right in
She
on
did
her.
kind of throw herself through the two of them, but I did think there was a little bit of contact. But that's what I want to see from Nikki Verk for this half. I want to see her dance and put these pressures on the defenders here. And Maddie Ma as well has had a really fantastic start to the second half.
Verk again. TSS found their way in as Verk dances to the edge of the penalty area, watched by Manel Fretwell, cleared by Napier Ganley, who's been dropping back further and further. Van den Bulk wins the throw.
TSS certainly seem to have raised the intensity a little bit. There's a lot more pressure to their game, and they're getting the balls out to the wings, which is what I'm wanting to see. And Maddie Ma is just throwing herself into every challenge out there. You can see why she's one of the big fan favourites. Also does the social media for the Rovers, which is why it's always a bit quieter during the women's games. She is talented, but not enough to do both at the same time.
Intercepted by Armand, I believe there. Now a chance to run forward. First time ball from Martinelli, though not enough pace on that to really trouble Ramirez. And Ramirez will kill a few seconds before scooping that up and rolling it over to Avery Nystead. Nystead. The back check from Martinelli gets past her. Miranda inside. Nice little double turn there to get away. Kurtz under pressure from Armanda. Sue was the one providing all that pressure on the far side. I'll just bypass her entirely, but that ball is not the best one to Faulkner. Veremo will take over here. Veremo looks long. Falls nicely. Chiara Armentor just briefly on that ball. Does deflect kindly though, and a chance for Levant to move through midfield. That'll be a foul. The referee was waiting for advantage there before calling that one. And just past the midfield stripe. That'll be a free kick here for Rovers to set something up. Do they go quick or do they fancy their chances of setting something up here? Looks like they'll think a little bit about it. Nope, they'll go quick. Framo not wasting any time at all. Dolezal goes out wide. Verk. As you called there, Michael, Verk is now more or less set up shop on this near side of the pitch. Liking your chances here against Lynn Fretwell. Right up the middle though. Goes Dolezal.
Again, we've seen Ma drift out to the wing as we did a little bit at the start of the first half.
Napier Ganley. That one just out of the reach of anybody in any jersey, really. And does catch a deflection off a Rover, though. Thought that was going to be a throw for Rovers. Instead, it'll be throw for Highlanders, and Manel Fretwell takes that quickly. That one, though, is given away. Not the best ball from Bryn Smith, and instead, turn and a shake there being shown by Haley Issel. And Issel wins the free kick. So Issel already making a good early account of herself.
Yeah, I've liked what I've seen from her so far. Rated number 64 in the FTF Canada-wide list of talent coming through in the 2023 grads.
On the far side now, low ball put in. Martinelli catches a deflection, opts to keep this in to avoid the corner, and they do. Work by Faulkner, showing pace to save. Yet would be the fifth corner of the day for Rovers, yet that might still happen. The Rovers are on the attack. Martinelli, 1-on-3, gets the ball back to Levant. Has Issel near, opts to keep. Does well to cut through the midfield. Johanna Berzosa-Dolezal. Sasha Merck. And Nikki Verk. Verk. Inside on Smith. Verk has Smith's number here. Tries for goal, but that catches the wrong side of the boot. And that'll be out for a goal kick. I think the idea there was to try and play in the late run on Martinelli or try and catch maybe Sue, but either way, that was totally the wrong way to be.
Yeah, I think it was meant as a cross and she just got a little bit too much on it. I was hoping it had taken a deflection the way it had gone, but But again, as I've been saying, this is what we're wanting to see from Nikki Verk, and she's really putting this Highlanders defence under the sword a little bit here. What the Rovers have to watch though is they're starting to put numbers forward and they're losing a little bit of the defensive shape and tracking back.
Napier Gamley tries to bring that ball down, it spins away. Nice to turn back from Ma. Ma now has some spaces in this area as well, but loses the touch of it. It does not get the deflection. It'll be a throw for Highlanders. And you saw from Verk in that last play too, even though she sent the cross out, was right back to providing the press immediately afterwards. One possession back a few seconds later off of that goal kick. So Verk is full of vim here. I have to imagine that the chat she got at halftime was a very particular one. Good stretching ball there. Stretch to get the ball there. Demi Levon losing out, but gets it back. Now for a deflection, and that will, that's a Highlanders ball. Napier Gamley. Nope, that is Napier Gamley's throw though. And a substitution coming up here for Highlanders, it looks like. See who they'll be bringing off. It will be 16 coming out, so that would be Bryn Smith. Smith is not a regular starter. That makes sense that she would be coming off at around the hour mark. See who that sub was brought in for. Just missed the end of the board there.
I think it was Julia Manol-Fretwell that came in.
It is. We have double Manel Fretwell on the field. And that is Julia now sitting up in midfield. So Lily on defense, Julia in midfield. All the Manel Fretwells you could possibly ask for.
I was so happy last week when they went on the pitch at the same time with the Hughescoe sisters as well.
Yeah, that makes
it more challenging.
I've experienced that one. It's
yes.
not great. It's doable, but it's not great. Nice dead with the header over to Faulkner. Miranda, watched by 10-on-10 violence there is Demi Levon watching Sophie Miranda. Puts it on the deck.
Nice ball.
Lily Manel Fretwell keeps it in. Just asking a lot of Julia to run onto this, but she'll get there. Can she hook it in? Does keep it in play, but nobody to follow up on it, and Rovers will calmly send that one out, although it doesn't stay in play. So that effort does result in the Highlanders throw in a decent attacking position. The Manel Fretwell's combining there on this near side. Kurtz. Voting was taken at halftime for the Lakeside Boys Supporters' Choice Award. Team MVP as voted by the fans every year. A prestigious award if ever there was one. Only one two-time winner on either the men's or women's side, that being Callum Montgomery. The current defending or holder for the Highlanders is Sophie Miranda. There are a couple of candidates who have a chance of unseating her this year. Cameron Kurtz being one of them. Sophia Jones forward. That's Vandenbulk, who has a step here. Vandenbulk can't get the shot off. Veremo did well to come over and cut the angle off. You would like Vandenbulk to pull the trigger a touch sooner on that. Gave Veremo enough time to close the gap.
She's had a couple of chances though in this half. Highlanders at least getting something now, which they didn't really get much looks on goal at all in the first.
Martinelli. Is it low? Past the heel of Scory. Chance here. She can get her feet under her. That little half-second hesitation might have cost Chiara Armenta, but they will get the corner.
Yeah, it's a good recovery by Armenta there, because it felt like she'd got the ball and was just caught in two minds as to what to do, and that hesitation just took away both options really for her. Forced out wide, and then Rovers at least getting a corner out of this to keep it alive. Can they use this swirling wind a little bit?
The Centennial wind tunnel picks up. Levon with the corner, looking for a friendly header, doesn't get it, but the follow-up right into the paw of Ramirez. Alert positioning at the far side. That might have, was that Brazil Dolezal at the far post?
It was, yes.
Great positioning by the captain.
Do you wonder if she was in two minds as well, whether to just go for a shot and go or try and play it along the six, and you're not really going to get past Ramirez from that close range with a pass like that.
Solid challenge from Nikki Verk. Brings down Scory in the process though. Verk is showing absolutely no fear.
I thought we might have seen a card come out for that one, but it looks like it's very much her last warning.
Stern talking to is the punishment doled out this time.
Be a little bit of frustration as well, I think, there from Nikki Verk, who hasn't maybe got the ball as much as she would have liked this afternoon.
In fairness, her deployment, as you noted, basically when this game started, is she was put in a position that left her with a much tougher task than she would have otherwise. So that frustration has certainly been simmering. Meanwhile, Vandenbulk won't be able to get to this, though it does put a nice bit of pace in to at least force Tynan to pick it up. And Tynan will send it up to Merck, and Rovers will regroup. Merck being afforded a chance to come out here. They go up the middle, looking for help here. Is Ma going out wide, Verk. Verk, though, catches her heel on the ball and goes down again. And Julia Manel-Fretwell comes away with it. Puts her head down, goes for a run. Verk, though, great recovery from Verk to get there. Does force the throw. Verk thinks she got there. She has to be careful here. She's already in stern talking to territory.
I did think she had just touched it off the Highlander player, but
Lily Manel-Fretwell, excuse me, that throw given away, and Verk now a chance to go forward with it anyway. Wrong side of Martinelli.
Needed to play that one up the line. Martinelli was shouting for it up the right wing, and Verk inexplicably played that inside.
Julia Manel-Fretwell up against Ma and Verk. Ma coming away with it. Gives it to Verk, who's slightly inverted and deep now. Allows Martinelli to get up. Lily Manel-Fretwell gets the bank and out for a throw. One Rover substitution queued up here. And they will allow this to come in. Who do they have here? It will be coming out. 10. It will be coming out will be Demi Lavon. And coming in to replace, that will be number 9.
We don't have a number 9 on our guide. I will try to work out who this is for you.
So Katie Chan is the one who's been called into this match.
We have her down as number 12, but we'll go with Katie Chan. Katie Chan is the other grade 12 student on the Rovers roster today, a TSS FC Academy alumni.
Interesting where Chan deploys here. Listed nominally as a defender. Good to see, even though this is a playoff and critical game for Rovers, that shot will actually go target and force the result from Ramirez.
Ramirez was backing up there. I don't know. She must have been very confident of knowing where the line was.
Was that Romero who took that shot? That was quite a test from near the midfield circle.
Certainly got some power and against the wind as well. Although this is kind of a wind that seems to be going in both directions right now.
The Centennial Wind Tunnel is an experience that must be experienced in person. It is something else.
This might be, though, what TSS have to do is just try and fire some shots in. We're now into the final quarter of the game. It's still scoreless. They're needing to try and find someone that's going to come up with a moment of magic. 6 players on the pitch right now have found the back of the net for TSS Rovers this year, as the Liquor Plus sign gets blown away in the wind that you were talking about.
Scorio on set piece duty for this one. Napier Ganley heading out wide. 5 Highlanders lined up along the edge of the penalty area. Now they go in motion. Scory comes off the back of Faremo that time. Faremo, excuse me. Faulkner, second phase. Napier Ganley, blocked. Faremo doing well to get forward. Put that pressure on. There might be a counter on if she should get to it a second time, but no. Sue beaten to it by Jones. Inside, Kurtz, Faulkner. Off the chest that time of Issel, or not Issel, excuse me, off the chest of Merck. Brought right back in off the throw. Highlanders going quickly with these throw-ins. Miranda turns up against Merck, who's on her offside. Still live. Sue over there as well, and this time Sue gets the bank. And that'll be the throw that TSS has been waiting for. 70th minute, no score between Rovers and Highlanders. Highlanders currently sitting in 7th place in League 1 BC's women's division. 1 point behind Altitude in 6th. Rovers sitting in 4th, 1 point ahead of Harborside. A win guarantees Rovers go to the playoffs as the number 4 seed. A draw means they have to, or a loss means they have to hope and pray that they get a favor in the final match of the season.
Yeah, if things stay like this, Harbourside know that they have their last home game tomorrow with Altitude, and a win will see them into the playoffs in their inaugural season. That must hurt as a South Islander.
You know, I'm going to preserve my neutrality in this specific instance and not comment through too gritted of teeth. That will be it was a handball called against the Rovers' attack there. I'm sure there are very nice people at Harbourside.
So it's not like an Arsenal-Tottenham thing that Tottenham wouldn't do Arsenal any favours, so you're not expecting the Highlanders to score an own goal in the last minute?
I somehow don't think that there will be a convenient own goal put in. Somehow I don't think that would be happening.
Of course, now if that does happen, there's going to be questions
asked. There will be absolutely questions asked.
I can hope. I can live in hope here.
Throw in being taken on this near side by Lilliman Elfratwell. Julia waits nearby. Vandenbulk is forward. The referee will call the throw back closer to the center stripe. Kurtz, Napier, Ganley in the midfield. Nice didn't score along the back. Miranda out wide. Faulkner very, very out wide. Throw will be chested down and intercepted, and forward they go. Kurtz comes away with it. And just to shake off the challenge there, a very stern challenge from Mull. Actually wins a free kick. Advantage could have been played there. Free kick regardless from the foul by Ma. Napier Ganley skips past Armenta, excuse me. Nystead puts it on the deck. It'll be a little bit too far here, and I'm sure. Oh no, actually, Merck will make absolutely certain. And this one goes out.
It did look like it was possibly going to hold up for a moment there.
I suppose when you have Jones streaking down there, Sophia Jones can, if she gets a little bit of room, set somebody up. And look who was waiting was Alexis Vandenbulk, who has been by far the most threatening Highlanders player on the pitch all afternoon. That ball pops up unkindly, but still well controlled there by Armenta. Still with it. And now 1-on-3, playing out of trouble is Brazil Jolazol. Napier Ganley comes away with it. Julie Manel puts the nutmeg in, but no one there to follow up on the cheeky bit of footwork. On the deck now, Verk has come onto her offside. Martinelli is available on this near side as Verk goes one-on-one with Scory. Verk cuts in, gets past Nystead, gets past Kurtz, sets up for Ma, tries to dance in the area, does get through. Ma puts it into the back of the net. Pure determination for Maddie Ma, and it's 1-0 Rovers.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. The two danger women for TSS that I talked about, Nikki Verk dancing through the Highlanders defence there, playing it into Ma. And aside from the footwork to set up the finish, Ma did so well to shield the ball and stop the tackle coming in the edge of the box there. And TSS, an absolute dreamland now. This one, Guardians in full voice. The sirens are out, and they are 17 minutes away from a place in the playoffs.
A moment of brilliance. Verk got onto her offside. She hasn't been attacking the left side of the pitch all afternoon. She's given a chance and makes the absolute most of it. Armenta being subbed out at the end of that play there, as the Chiara Armenta shift comes to an end.
Didn't see who came on. I'm going to think it's probably going to be Maddie Elcombe.
You would think so, yeah.
It's going to be a like-for-like switch. It does look like it is Maddie that is out there.
So Maddie Elcombe comes into this match, replacing Chiara Armenta in the 73rd minute after the goal from Maddie Ma, assisted by Nikki Verk.
Maddie Ma's third goal of the season now, putting her second joint scorer with Nikki Verk.
Meanwhile, Pomero immediately comes into the pitch, gets into the penalty area and causes havoc. Unfortunately, there was an offside call there. So Nystead will gladly take this free kick inside her own penalty area. Ramirez.
Second assist of the season as well for Nikki Verk, making her the joint leader with TSS with Alana Friesen and Devin Kavanagh. Always stress these are unofficial assists, I'm trying to keep them for the AFTN crew just so we've got a note for the college season.
As a fellow stat head, I greatly appreciate seeing as many things as possible marked down and logged.
I have watched way too many goals this year about 5-6 times. I tried to work out who played the pass. Did it take a deflection? Should I give an assist to that? I decided not to go with second assist. It was getting way too complicated.
Yeah, at that point you're getting into subjectivity, and it's honestly, the effort isn't quite worth the amount of sweat equity put in. Stumble there over the ball though, and chance for the Highlanders to go away with it. And Sophia Jones has some space, has to be very careful. Those all over her is Maddie Elcombe, fresh off the bench, freshest legs on the pitch. But that one will be given away, and a chance now for Raymond to move forward, and does. Let's move more to a central role now, with Merck taking her spot on the back line.
I felt it was going to be a moment of magic from one of these teams that was going to unlock this, and I think we certainly got a goal worthy of describing it as that.
Ma dancing through 3 different defenders at the edge of the penalty area, slicing through, keeping her feet, keeping the ball, most importantly, and then beating Ramirez at the far post. None of those things I just described are easy at the best of times, and Ma absolutely came through when her club needed a goal to try and secure a spot in the playoffs.
It's going to be interesting what Maddie decides to do now, because she has had a very strong League One season. She was originally a commitment with St Mary's Huskies, but COVID and then a concussion completely derailed her college career, and she's kind of just been playing locally instead. But I mean, you're seeing the talent that she's got on the pitch, and she can certainly do more. Oh!
That one was a danger ball right off the crossbar.
Veremo with a fierce strike there, and that had beat Ramirez all ends up.
Meanwhile, that last-ditch defending there by Scory as down went Nystead and Faulkner. As fresh off the bench, Maddie Elcombe has decided to play the full bulldozer role here for TSS. And following up on your point on Faremo is no longer playing as a defender and has moved right underneath the attacking line. This is why Merck is playing on her offside. So that spot that did have Merck in it is now being occupied.
Katie Chan, since she's come in, didn't know much about her at all, just that she's had a very good season with the TSS Academy, so they wanted to, instead of just bringing in some older local players, reward the alumni that's done very well for them in the local leagues, and that's what this club's all about with TSS. It's like, you've got the academy, you've got this pipeline coming through, and from speaking to Colin Elms just on the ferry ride over today, we were just chatting about that, and there's a number of standouts on the men and the women's side that he hopes to call up next season into League One BC, and that only bodes well then for their future, attracting talent to come through, and you want to see them rewarded.
The whole point of League One BC is to build that pipeline that we've needed in this province, in this country for a very long time, on both sides of the game. If we can get that going all the way down to the grassroots level, so much the better. Faremo now, who is now that dominant force in midfield that this game has been lacking. It's been cagey and testy and very, very well contested midfield, but the introduction of Faremo higher up has made the midfield suddenly very safe for TSS to occupy, and they're taking full advantage here. Issel playing that one out wide.
And it's been interesting with Sophia Faremo this season, because she is, with the University of Fraser Valley Cascade, a midfielder, but she has been playing mostly in the defence this year for TSS, but that's kind of been a needs-must basis, because they have been short in various areas of the park. But it's a nice option now that you can move her forward, and you've seen how dangerous she is out there, and she's on the ball again just now.
Faremo goes all the way back. Katie Chan.
TSS feel, I think, that they've got the Highlanders in the ropes, and they want to get that second. They don't want to rest on their laurels, and that's a narrow 1-goal lead here.
Chan, nice little stutter step to get past Julie Manel-Fretwell, ends up winning the throw. No fear shown whatsoever by Chan. That throw in taken quick as well, and Verk is now on the ball. Tries to get through Julie Manel-Fretwell, can't. Gets past Leaper Ganley, but up comes Faremo. It's a lovely ball, and there's space here now to work with. Edge of the air, takes the shot, deflects twice. Lily Manel-Fretwell makes the clearance. No nonsense, it'll be out for a throw. A massive gap opened at the Highlanders' backline there, and through went the TSS attack. Somewhat fortunate that they managed to only concede a throw-in off of that. Martinelli gets it back over to Verk. They'll recycle this. They'll let Berzosa Dolazalt send it over to Merck. Merck up the side. I think the idea there was trying and spring Sue, but that was well ahead and high.
Yeah, if this result holds, TSS into the playoffs, where they will face the Whitecaps Girls Rex Elite. So that's not going to be an easy task for them. It's a very tall order, especially with a depleted squad.
It's a rematch of last year, isn't it? From the...
Well, it wasn't the playoffs last year. It was just the top two.
It was the top
into
table,
championship.
right.
So, the Whitecaps have already booked their berth in interprovincial championships as the regular season winners. BC having 2 spots in those championships, with the second going either to the playoff champions, or if that is the Whitecaps, it will go to the runners-up. So, I mean, you've got a chance if you're TSS. Once you're in the playoffs, you still have the possibility of getting to that interprovincial championship. You just have to beat a very, very talented Whitecap squad to do it.
No tall order. Rovers have shown that they are not afraid of those. Although Chan, a little bit too eager to try and play up the line there. Sends it right out for a throw. And it'll be Napier Ganley actually walking all the way back to the athletic track here, trying to uncork a long throw. Thinks about it.
I'm sure there's people from Harbourside watching this stream just now, just willing.
Oh, over the head! Bit of a misread there from Merck. Thankfully, Tynan.
Hopefully there was a shout there and that was a deliberate lead, but that took an interesting bounce. But yeah, I'm sure there's folk from Harbourside watching the stream now, just willing their island compadres to try and get something going in the last 9 minutes here.
Napier Ganley. Can she deliver? Nope. And instead, it'll be coming the other way with pace. Elcombe skips one challenge, can't keep the ball though, wins the foul. Kurtz went in a little bit too heavy there. I can imagine one island side would cheer for another too hard though. We have our pride to keep up. Whether you're Central, North, or South Island, there's one thing that you know, it's that the other 2 parts are just the worst. But I digress.
I watch a lot of New Zealand shows, so I'm used to all the North Island, South Island there, so it's quite funny.
Napier Ganley, out wide to Faulkner. Jones. I'm of 2 minds, of course. Originally, I'm actually from Nanaimo, so I have both sides playing against one another. Though my soccer allegiances first and foremost go to Highlanders, so that makes that one a little bit easier.
When I first moved over here with my wife, her parents lived in Nanaimo, her dad still does. So I spent 3 very long months in Nanaimo when I came over in 2007.
My condolences? Question mark?
Yeah, I think it's mainly because I didn't have a car at that point, so you're relying on the local buses. A bus every 40 minutes was new to me.
Yeah, that has left a lot to be desired for a while now. But I digress. Alexis Vanderbilt getting subbed off here as Highlanders rotate the personnel with 8 minutes to go. It's all hands on deck, so if you're going to make the change, it's now or never.
This is going to be a nervy last 7 minutes or so. I mean, I wouldn't see there being too much time added on. None added on in the first half.
Minute if that, maybe. So it would be Hannah Emmond, who is another new face being added into the Highlanders squad here. Much as TSS rotating late to fill the numbers, Emmond being brought in to show what she can do at this level. And showing plenty of tenacity in midfield is Jessa Napier Ganley.
Katie Chan just battling away out there and winning her side to free kick, and that's a heavy pass by there to Verzosa Dolezal, but the Rovers captain controls that one well.
Charging in on the wing here, gets past Faulkner. Nystead steps in, there's the tackle. It'll be a corner, 6th of the afternoon for Rovers. Highlanders still waiting for their first corner. I believe, if I was watching correctly, I believe Lily Ray found their way into this match as well. I'll double check that. But the Highlanders did have a lot of activity going on at the subs bench during that last change. Corner coming up here for Rovers.
I think I do see number 8 on the far post there.
Yeah, so that would be Ray who came in. Second effort, takes deflection, looking for the ball there. Was Ma, doesn't come through in the end. Burke coming back to help out.
Burke putting in another fantastic shift out there.
Merck now from the back line over to Chan. Watched by Napier Ganley, and now forward coming Emmond. They'll go long instead. Try and cut everybody under. That's a nice ball that falls kindly for Martinelli. Pops it up. Back post. Sue retreats. Watched by Faulkner. Gets the return, but Nystead should be able to get there first and does. Clears it back to midfield. Merck. Over the head. Sue puts in a little bit of a barge. Concedes the foul.
You were mentioning about the Highlanders Player of the Year awards. This one, Guardians are also going to be presenting the TSS Player of the Year awards after each of the matches today. Haven't had an inkling as to who's going to get it. For me, though, on the women's side, it's really hard to see past Ilana Friesen. She's just had an excellent season. 7 goals, 2 assists for TSS. It'll be a big surprise if it's not her.
Chested down, looking for a way through. Is that going to be in reach, or will Ray get there? Yeah, it was. It was won by Faremo, and now with pace up against Scory. Faremo cuts inside. It's just spaced unloads with their left foot. Does, but blocked by Nice at the last second. Scory clears. And Merck will be able to either let this run or chase it down. Her choice. She'll like to keep it going. Jones was waiting for it there. Never came. Instead, up it goes. Looking for Ma that time. Kurt's getting in the way. Sue blocked. Merck actually goes past her. Now Brazil Dolazal though. We'll send that out for a throw. 4 minutes to go. Rovers 1, Highlanders 0. 73rd minute goal from Maddie Ma, assisted by Nikki Verk after 2 excellent displays of aggressive work, a little bit of magical footwork, and precision placement, undressing the Highlanders' defense. And Highlanders finally have a corner. That I believe that's their first of the afternoon. Maybe their second, but I'm pretty sure that's the first. And it will be, I believe that is Hannah Emmond on set piece duty. Substitute, puts it in near post, but that is low and cleared. No problem there.
Certainly got some welly in that to send that one in.
If Ganley sends in a second phase ball, chested down by Kurtz. Could be danger here. Fighting for it is Scory. It does come free. Jones turns. Back to Emmond. That'll be over the bar though. As Emmond thought she saw daylight. Did have a decent angle to goal though, so I don't begrudge her taking the shot, but the accuracy, unfortunately, much to be desired.
Kirsten Tynan will take all the time in the world here with this goal kick.
We're in CONCACAF, I expect nothing less.
As long as the referee's going to give her, she'll take that.
Martinelli. Faremo, up against Napier Ganley, wins it. Be cleared this time by Merck. Only as far as Kurtz. Kurtz to Miranda. Miranda tries over the top. The idea was to try and find Emmond. I don't think that was an attempt for goal, but either way, that had much too much on it. And a timely water break there for Kirsten Tynan, and we'll take her time over this goal kick.
It's always important to hydrate. It's
Absolutely.
just not wasting time. It's just keeping our body healthy.
It's a very vital thing to do in this day and age.
This result holds as well. It's only going to be TSS's second clean sheet of the season, and what a time to get it. Some of the TSS fans, or one of the TSS fans, may have won the 50-50 draw with the side of it.
So everybody's a winner today if you're visiting on the
Fantastic
mainland.
trip.
You know, speaking of the mainland, Verk with the cross, looking for Martinelli. Couldn't quite get there.
I mean, Martinelli was way offside for me as that came in. I kept looking over at the linesman, but the flag didn't go up.
I think Ray might have touched it first either way. Regardless, Kurtz goes with the long ball, looking for Emmond. That will be asking a lot for Napier Ganley to get there, and Tynan will decide to thump that right back to midfield over the head of Sue. Throw it to Highlanders.
Superbly to deal with that danger. Got to give full credit to Hannah Martinelli, still running. I had talked about, we wondered how long she might be able to go out there just with.
Sue's
not
actually
having
coming off.
played. Oh, that must be a little knock that she's got.
So Megan Sue off for Rovers. She was substituted in. And Isabella Picani will come in to finish this match out in the final 30 seconds of regulation, plus whatever the referee sees merciful to add on.
Picani a forward as well, so I wonder if the plan is just to try and get the ball up to her. She is quite pacey.
Yeah, I was about to say she's just played right at the front of the attack too. She's up beside Elcombe up front.
3 years at college under her belt with the Fraser Valley Cascades, and she's a pacey little player.
We've played the 90. It's the referee's mercy from here on out. There is time coming up on the board. It'll be 3 extra minutes.
3 minutes they seem to have found from somewhere.
I was expecting a minute, didn't expect 3.
I thought maybe 2 with the subs and a little bit of the time wasting, but 3 is a bit of a surprise.
Verk goes along with the clearance, but that takes a bit of a shank off the toe there of Nikki Verk. Thrown for Highlanders. They stay on the attacking third. They need to do something with it though. Falls to Sophie Miranda. What can she do from here? Goes all the way back. Ray. Long ball, headed clear. Good defending there by the captain. Rosa Dolezal staying at that part of the defense. Neisted goes long. Scory has moved forward as a target forward now. Popped up. Kurtz charging in.
What a tackle there from Katie Chan.
In the penalty area as on her debut.
Debut, grade 12 student, tackling a crucial thing. Get that wrong and that's a penalty. And the flag up on the far side.
Well, Katie Chan is, if her goal is to impress the coaches, she's mission accomplished there.
I mean, I would say that she wants to buy a drink all night, but she's not even old enough to have one, so we'll get her a Coca-Cola on the ferry home.
Tynan take their time over this. Met there by Martinelli. Martinelli will probably go to full 90 here. And has looked every bit of as good as she needs to be for it. Plenty of pace, plenty of danger. And a long ball for Sophie Miranda. There might be more danger yet to come. Puts it into the box. Ammond tried to get the ball through to Scory, could never get a good touch on it, and instead, that'll be a goal kick. That final, as I said at the start of the second half, Michael, it's that final ball linking the midfield to the attack has always been a little bit difficult to find, and here, that is unfortunately, that might be the undoing.
I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row now. I've watched the Highlanders, and then I'd watched the Altitude game as well that you had on the stream the week before that, and they do seem to be a side that's just missing that cutting, attacking edge, and they're moving the ball around well, but the final third seems to be where they let them down. And last week against Altitude in particular, after the brief first 5-10 minutes in the attack, they were just really on the back foot after that. TSS certainly have looked a better team out there today. That's not to say the Highlanders haven't had chances, because in particular, Alexis Van den Bulk had that one where she was in on goal, but Tynan stood in her head for that one.
Scory turning now. It's now or never here. Napier Ganley immediately closed down. Ray up the middle. Hannah acrobatic move to try and get any sort of touch on that. Hannah Emmon trying everything, but that'll do it. That guarantees the Rovers will go to the League One BC playoffs as the number 4 seed, finishing off their regular season with a 1-0 away win, mathematically eliminating Harborside from playoff contention.
Maddie Ma, the hero of the hour. Fantastic goal. If you've tuned in late and you haven't seen the goal, watch it back, because that was 3 pieces of brilliance. Nikki Verk to set it up, dancing through a number of Highlanders defenders. Maddie Ma keeping hold of the ball just inside the box, and then skipping by a couple more Highlanders defenders with a fantastic finish as well. The red smoke is out from the travelling TSS Rovers support. TSS Rovers are going to the playoffs. They've got a tough battle ahead against their Whitecaps Girls Rex Elite. Should be an absolute cracker. To get through that one, they have to find more potency in attack. I'm sure that's something that Chelsea Hannison will be working on with her side in the coming week. I'm looking forward to it already.
And of course, we're not done quite yet. We have 2 presentations to go with the Player of the Year MVP awards. Supporters' Choice Awards for the Highlanders and the MVP Player of the Match, Player of the Year for Rovers coming up at midfield, as presented by their respective supporter groups, the Swan Guardians and the Lakeside Boys. Plenty of candidates here. I will say, in the interest of full transparency, my vote this year was for Cameron Kurtz for Highlanders midfield. Much like how last year the Highlanders lived and died by the effectiveness of their midfield, it was the same this year. And where last year it was Miranda on offense that provided the edge more often than not, Kurtz on defense, and then transitioning this year further up the pitch and still being effective. As you saw last week in the altitude game, Kurtz for me has been doing that all season long and deserves the nod.
She's been excellent. From just the little bits that I've seen, Mara McCleary I think has been good, and Salzburg obviously is a very good veteran presence in that team as well. There's a lot of talent in this Highlanders side, and it's maybe been a tougher season than they hoped for, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I will leave you for a little bit. I have to go down and do some post-game videos for TSS, but I'll be back for the next game.
All right, Michael McCall joining us from the mainland. You can see him on AFTN Canada. He also does the Away from the Numbers, There's Still Time podcast. You can hear him regularly on the podcasts. We'll take a brief break here, and we'll be back with the presentation of the Supporters' Choice Awards in just a little bit.
After you go.
Down at midfield, as you can see, Michael Geldrich from the Lakeside Boys is calling over the players from the Highlanders to do the presentation, the Supporters' Choice Award. So the way this has been done ever since back in the original PDL days with the Highlanders, it's always the team MVP as voted by the supporters. They are presented, of course, with a trophy and a scarf. And we'll see who gets the nod this year. Always difficult presenting an award after a loss at the end of the season, but always want to present on a much more buoyant note. We'll see who the supporters have chosen en masse this year. So, as mentioned there with Michael McCall, Mara McCleary was ever present in the defense this year. Kurtz in midfield. Miranda, the defending, or the current holder of the title, having been awarded it last year. Faulkner transitioned over into a fullback role and did quite well with it. Ended up leading the team with assists. Scory wore the captain's armband the majority of the year. And certainly played with the poise of a captain. Reliable as you like, either on defense or moved up into midfield as needs be. Of course, can't mention Mara McCleary without mentioning Avery Nystad, who was usually her partner in a center back role. Plenty of worthy candidates. We'll see who the supporters chose. Waiting for the mic to be delivered downfield there so they can deliver the award. I'm not sure if there's going to be a full formal presentation or if they'll simply get all the players there and do a little speech. Either way, one of these Highlanders will walk away with the Supporters' Choice Award for Team MVP. Of course, many of these TSS and Rovers players have played either with or against one another, either at the League One BC level or at the Can Sports level. A good camaraderie between them all. At least after the whistle has blown. Just waiting for one or two more players to make their way across the pitch to join the presentation. See who the award has been given to. Highlanders finished the season with that loss, sitting on 3 wins, 7 losses, and 4 draws. Good for 13 points in League One BC, ending up 7th in the 8-team women's division. Rovers finish on 21 points, 6 wins, 5 losses, and 3 draws. Also improves their goal differential ever so slightly for the Rovers to -2 or -2. 23 scored, 25 conceded. Rovers winning a crucial one today, a 73rd minute goal from Maddie Mott, ensuring that the visitors will enter the League One BC Women's Division playoffs as the 4th seed. And for the Highlanders, it'll be an off-season to regroup, figure out what went wrong, and try and find a way to take a step forward for the 2024 campaign. The team as it is constructed, it's really only 1 or 2 pieces away. Somebody to provide that final link from the midfield to the attack, and then an attacker with that lethality to get the ball into the back of the net. Highlanders 14 goals scored over the course of the season, 26 conceded. -12 differential. At 15 goals, leading them second bottom of the table, ahead of Altitude's 13 and behind Rivers 18. Rivers is the only team behind the Highlanders in the standings, sitting in 8th place. And speech is being given now by Lakeside Boys' Michael Geldrich. At least we assume that's why he's in full expansive talking mode there down on the athletic track with the Highlanders women's side. Trying to see if anybody has been singled out here for praise by Mike Geldrich. As Faulkner, showing no ill effects from her leg injury earlier, dancing in front of us. While they sort that out, we're going to get ready for the men's match here. So thank you for watching this League One BC stream. For Michael McCall, my name is Roturo. We'll be back with you for the men's match after a short break.